Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Martin and today we're looking at Loki. So first things first, just to get this cleared up, Loki videos on this channel are basically a bonus video for the week. I have a schedule of a movie and Firefly at the moment, 2 videos a week. I'm just trying to see if I can squeeze this in with my time and see if we can make it work. So just so you know, there isn't a set day and time for these videos to go up every week. It's just they'll pop up once they're done. That's pretty much the situation with Loki going forward. But with that said, this is probably the sort of Disney Marvel TV show that I'm most excited for. I've watched WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I enjoyed them both. But they were the ones I was slightly like, I wonder how this is going to work kind of thing in my head. Loki, I feel like, has a lot of potential for just anything, basically. So this was the one that I'm most excited to see, and hopefully it's good. I look forward to it. I've managed to keep away from spoilers and everything because it's been out about a day now already, so I really know nothing going into this other than the sort of initial trailer that I watched. But yeah, excited. Let's see how mischievous and mad this whole thing gets, shall we? Here we go. Where's he gonna go? Where's he going? Jesus, did the fucking Tesseract just shoot him out of the sky? Isn't it like meant to just like teleport you somewhere?
I hereby arrest you for crimes against the sacred timeline. Hands up.
Sacred timeline, interesting.
You're coming with us.
I'm sorry.
Loving the music, very sort of John Carpenter-esque.
Last.
Now get out of my way.
Like fucking Neo. Oh, Agent Smith. Whoa, hello.
Now moving at 1/16th speed.
That's so cool. That's cool. So we try and get yourself in the headspace that this is the Loki from directly after the first Avengers and not the Loki that we've subsequently sort of gone on a journey with the other movies. Whoa, hello. Assume that's what the fucking neck thing's for.
Can you at least tell me what it is?
It's the Tesseract. Be very careful with it.
Sounds dumb.
Sandstone. I love the set design. Look at this fucking thing. Well, not.
Now, hang on just
I was gonna say, not so fun anymore. Oh, it's like fucking Wallace and Gromit.
Please sign to verify this is everything you've ever said.
What?
Sign this too.
This guy must have the best job ever. I love the fact that he's standing in a lift. Yeah, it's just a sequence of trap doors. It's not. It's so ridiculous.
This is a mistake. I shouldn't be here.
Hi there. You're probably saying, this is a mistake. I shouldn't even be here. But sometimes people like you veer off the path the timekeepers created. We call those variants.
This is cool. It's a cool way of showing this.
I tried to ask that guy for a ticket. Sir? Were you raising your voice with me, Buckethead?
Okay, well, I guess it might not matter who that guy was. He was just there to show the consequences of this place. Alright, strap in, we're going in. I love how sort of early 70s sci-fi it all is. The devil? Oh, here comes all those fucking rumors again. The devil did it! I love this whole thing of, like, time cops. It's as ridiculous as it is.
Absolutely not. You have the wrong person.
Oh, really? And who should we have?
I suspect the Avengers. You see, I only came into possession of the Tesseract because they traveled through time. No doubt in a last-ditch effort
Oh,
to stave
interesting.
off my ascent to
He
God.
figured that all out. He figured out that
By an
they
accusation.
changed time to get it.
We're not here to talk about the Avengers.
Oh, no?
No. What they did was supposed to happen. You escaping was not.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Of this.
Yeah, that didn't work, bud. That's not gonna work. That collar's probably stopping a whole lot of things.
Magic powers. They're no good in the TVA, Mr. Laufeyson.
Oh, it's the
The
place.
court finds you guilty, and I sentence you to be reset. Next case.
Is it the
please.
place or the collar?
Reset.
Look at it all.
I thought there was no magic here. There isn't.
It's all tech. Still has a very, we're saying, like a really 70s concept art aesthetic to it.
You were created by the Timekeepers. Yep. To protect the sacred timeline. Correct.
I don't see the timeline
Funny? The idea that
surviving the show. I feel like there's going to be a change.
You want to be king?
I don't want to be. I was born to be.
No, but king of what exactly?
I mean, that's a good, interesting question.
Try me.
Does Loki really know what he wants to be in charge of?
For nearly every living thing, choice breeds shame and uncertainty and regret. There's a fork in every road, yet the wrong path always taken.
Good. Fall in.
It's interesting that he sort of fundamentally disagrees with this place and what they're doing, and yet his goals are somewhat similar to what they're doing anyway.
To perfection.
At least at this moment, anyway.
Big. Look at that smile. You are enjoying that. Did you enjoy hurting them?
I don't have to play this game. I'm a god.
Of what again?
It's really interesting. We're getting
I don't see anything very mischievous.
like attempting to show Loki to himself.
See you again someday.
Brother, Heimdall,
You better be ready.
So this is when they were still on good terms. Is this just like a fucking prank that they play?
I can't believe you were D.B. Cooper.
I know.
I was young and I lost a bet to Thor. Where was
Oh
the
my
TVA when
God,
I was
amazing.
These affairs of men.
Always so perceptive about everyone but yourself.
And then the Dark Elves attack the palace and think.
I mean, that was the most interesting part about 4-2.
Do you enjoy hurting people?
I don't believe
Do you enjoy killing?
I'll kill you.
What, like you did your mother? You were born to cause pain and suffering and death. That's how it is, that's how it was, that's how it will be. All so that others can achieve their best versions of themselves.
It's weird because it feels a little bit like he's trying to manipulate him into being something other than that. I just don't know what his angle is, what he's trying to get from it.
Okay, Loki, I think we can finish up tomorrow and just pick it up.
Oh, he fucking jacked it. He jacked it. What else is in there?
Infinity Stones?
Oh, we actually got a lot of those.
What
Some of
the
guys use them
fuck?
as paperweights.
There's loads of them.
Some of them.
Or is this just this wake-up call to like, oh shit, this place is the real deal?
Is this the greatest power in the universe?
Seems that way.
You should choose your words more carefully.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to affect him. I mean, maybe it's a good thing that he's been shown that he is, like, not immortal.
What's so funny?
Glorious purpose.
Oh shit! That's pretty fucking slick. You might enjoy this a little bit too much. Jesus.
I don't enjoy hurting people. I do it because I have to, because I've had to.
Okay, explain that to me.
Because it's part of the illusion. It's the cruel, elaborate trick conjured by the weak to inspire fear.
The desperate play for control.
Is he lying, though? It's the question.
That's not how I see. Fugitive variant's been killing our Minutemen.
And you need the god of mischief to help you stop them.
The variant we're hunting is you.
I did have that in my head a little bit. That could well be the case. When they were sort of mentioning all like the knife wounds and all that stuff. Yep, that's... You fell into that. Ugh, that's not good. But looks like they got what they wanted. I assume that must be ulterior Loki, I presume. Yeah, that's the end of the episode. Interesting. Lots of interesting things. Right, that was a reaction to the first episode of Loki. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. Lets other people know that you liked it and helps this video get seen by other people. Maybe consider subscribing. But other than that, we're going to talk about this episode now and see what I thought about the whole thing. So first things first, I just want to get this out of the way. I love the look of this show. It's falling into an aesthetic that is very appealing to me. This whole sort of 70s sci-fi, everything looks older than what it should do for what its function is, and all that kind of stuff. I love just the whole look of it, the cinematography, like exacerbating that look, and it looks stunning. Like the whole sort of 70s aesthetic is just very appealing to my sensibilities, and I'm really loving how that is then being clashed into the sort of traditional Marvel stuff, and then Loki as a character and all that stuff. I'm just loving the look of the whole thing. But I do wonder, since it looks like we're going to be delving into different sort of times and places, I wonder if the look of the show might change and evolve as we go through, or if it's going to sort of maintain this look. I mean, I'm happy either way. I'd be interested to see how they might play with that. Similar to how they did in WandaVision, but maybe slightly more stylized, if that's the correct term I'm thinking for. But I love the look of it. I'm really enjoying how this whole thing looks. That's the first thing that really leaps out to me. Then in terms of the story, the content of this is much like the other two Marvel shows before it. It looks like we're really going to get as well as this sort of mystery of what's going on with the timelines, and this apparent other much more villainous variant of Loki that's running around. We don't know if it's our Loki, if it's a completely different multiverse version of Loki. All those questions are to be answered as the episodes go along, I assume. But I'm loving that this show, much like the other ones, are really taking the time to character study Loki, to show him himself in a way. Like with WandaVision, we had her dealing with everything that had happened to her up to that point, and that's what that whole crux of that show was. Falcon and the Winter Soldier had both Bucky and the Falcon sort of Sam, like dealing with who they are in this sort of weird moment of pause that they had, where they could sort of figure out where they were going and who they wanted to be. And much the same here. It looks like Loki's dealing with who he is and facing up to himself. And it's interesting that the show framed it in such a way that he's only really being able to look at himself when he kind of gets this second chance. Like he gets to see like where the timeline would have taken him had he not escaped at the end of First Avengers and branched off in this way. He got to see who he would have become and what that meant, and he sort of, it was great by Tom Hiddleston. He was like experiencing like 3-4 movies worth of emotional content and then squeezed it down into like 2 minutes. And you could almost see like the Avengers version of Loki just growing into that version that we knew by the end of Thor Ragnarok and Avengers Infinity War, like happen across those 2 minutes. Obviously we don't know quite where his motivations are, because you know he wouldn't be Loki without that sense of mystery and mischief and what is he actually going to do with this information. But I've just found it fascinating that he effectively has this second chance at life, and he actively sees that he wasn't as immortal as he thought he was. He sees that his tape came to an end, quite literally. Like, he saw that, you know, he wasn't, if the timelines had continued on their destined path, he didn't really have all that much longer left to go. And it's going to be fun exploring that, seeing how he's going to deal with what he thinks is important to him, and dealing with it, and seeing that he got to see that he sort of rekindled his relationship with his brother, and to an extent. And it's interesting when he says he's found his purpose once he sees that whole thing. It could go either way. It could be him like, I'm gonna try and be that person that it looked like I was on that path to becoming, or he could potentially go completely the opposite way and go, well, what was the point of me trying like I did in the original timeline when all it did was get me killed? So it's interesting. I think it's a good setup to show where he's going to go across these episodes and into future projects with Marvel, and see where the character ends up. What is this new journey? And that's, I think, the most appealing thing here, is it feels like a wholly unique and new journey for this character. Because let's be honest, Loki is probably the most popular MCU villain, because previously, next to Thanos, he had a depth to him and everyone could sort of see where he was coming from. He had a relatability in that way. And here they're just fully taking advantage of that, where he is full anti-hero, but at the same time you don't really know if he is anti-hero. You don't know if he's going to go into full hero or if he's going to go to full villain. But the idea of they're chasing a villainous version of him is interesting. It's kind of setting up the idea of that he could easily become that at some point if he decides to go down that path. Like, you know, obviously on multiverse stuff there's a sequence of people making choices, and the different choices go different paths and branches and all that stuff. And this Loki that we now have in the show, it is kind of existing outside of all those things, and he is probably the most free that he's ever been, as long as he can manipulate the situation into staying alive, basically. So I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride seeing him go through this whole thing, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of the series or season to see where that's going to go. The other thing I have to say is that from the trailers, I was really interested to see how Owen Wilson was going to fit into this. And obviously my stuff that I've seen Owen Wilson in is usually quite over-the-top comedy stuff. That's where I've normally seen Owen Wilson in. I haven't seen many of his more, shall we say, down-to-earth roles on Sleep, so I don't really have a frame of reference for that stuff from him. But from this episode, I liked it. Was like a nice blend of him playing this kind of time cop space detective, which was a fun concept in of itself, but also still having enough room there to be a sort of smart-arsey sort of self, especially when you're going up against Loki. I think that's a nice, I think they've got potential for a really nice dynamic between the two of them, and we started to see that come out from this episode. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to get fleshed out as it goes along. And yeah, just wholly very enjoyable first episode of this show, and it's definitely set up interesting things going forward, like when our Loki comes into contact with whatever version of Loki that they're hunting down, because it could literally be anything. This version of Loki could be anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to even be Tom Hiddleston. It could be someone completely different playing a different version of Loki. So when those two finally meet, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I can't wait to get there. But I'm also excited for the journey building up to that. So that's, you know, I don't think you can ask for much more than that in a TV show. So yeah, wholly enjoyed this first episode. I think it's really good. I have a slight bias because like I said at the start, this was probably the show that I was most excited for out of the Marvel TV show content. And even though like the Timekeepers, I mean, we might meet those as well. That's an exciting thing. That stuff in terms of the comics, I'm not that familiar with. Like, I'm very kind of not basic knowledge based in comic books. I think I've got a little bit more knowledge than casual fans of it. But like Timekeepers and all this element of it, I'm completely unaware of. It's one of those things where I'm just, yeah, it's like it's right up there with the Eternals. Like, I have no idea what that stuff is like, and it's fun to get to see something from a comic book world that I have no knowledge of being brought to life. I sort of knew who Thor and Loki and, you know, Iron Man and Captain America, I knew who all those were before the movies, long before the movies came out. Now that the MCU's delving into this weird and wonderful territory that is a lot more obscure, it's really fun getting to sort of see it with really fresh eyes and not have that baggage in my mind of, well, I sort of know where this could go or where that could go. This could go anywhere for me, and that's exciting. So yeah, I look forward to the rest of it. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. Maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos, and that's, you know, never a bad thing. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a good time and all that jazz. So yeah, please do check out any other content on the channel if you are so inclined. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.